Hi, I'm Charlie Kemp. I'm going to talk about human-centered mobile manipulation with Stretch. I'm representing Hello Robot. We're excited to be a sponsor of HRI 2022, and as part of that sponsorship, I get to give this talk. So I'm co-founder, CTO. I'm also an academic, and because of that, I need to disclose my conflict of interest. And the basic gist is that if Hello Robot, the company, does well, I do well personally. So I want to keep it interesting for you. I'm going to try to be quick. So I'm going to start with a quick intro to Hello Robot. Then I'm going to talk about the design of Stretch, the mobile manipulator that we sell. And then I'm going to talk about some of the exciting things that the people in the community are doing with Stretch. Okay, quick introduction to Hello Robot. We sell this hardware and software platform. It's a mobile manipulator that's compact, lightweight, it's contact sensitive, and it's calibrated. $20,000, you get a complete robot. It comes with the grippers, the sensors, and the onboard computer, and it's open source software from the firmware on up. You can find it on GitHub. We really value transparency and openness, and we're striving for that. So we have simple pricing. We do our development in the open on GitHub. We have open hardware accessories. We have an open forum for people to share. But you can also ask questions privately of us for support through our email. Okay, so we launched this product in July of 2020. It was well received, won some awards. I had the really interesting experience of seeing my family's dog in my living room on the BBC. It was great, but what was most exciting, what's been really wonderful and gratifying, is the community that has emerged around this platform. Lots of researchers now are working with Stretch, and it's great to see what they're doing. And I'll share some of that at the end of the talk. Okay, I'm going to talk a bit about the design of Stretch, and a lot of this content is in an ICRA paper that has been accepted to ICRA 2022. So this started in my lab, healthcare robotics lab at Georgia Tech. We've been working with mobile manipulators for a long time. This was our first mobile manipulator, Ellie. You might notice that there are some similarities. And we've really looked at how can mobile manipulators provide meaningful assistance to people with disabilities. Later on, we worked with the PR2. We were part of the PR2 beta program. And what was great about that was being part of this community where everyone was using the same platform. So it really enhanced sharing and replication. Whereas before that, we were working with this one robot that we had made ourselves. We used the PR2 and other robots to continue to study assistance for people with disabilities and showed a lot of promising results. One of the more exciting projects was with Henry Evans and Jane Evans. Henry has severe motor impairments and lives in California. We started a collaboration with him and Jane through Willow Garage as part of the Robots for Humanity project. And it was really exciting. Lots of great things with mobile manipulators. And yet I didn't see the robot I really wanted to see. So a robot where I felt like it could really be used in a home. It was light enough, small enough, safe enough to be used in a home by people with disabilities and others. And where it was more affordable. So researchers could use it and people could actually apply it. So late 2016, actually, I was kind of getting frustrated. And so worked with Henry Cleaver, a student in my lab, to invent a new kind of mobile manipulator. And then later on, really fortunate, Dr. Aaron Egsinger, he got it, he was excited about it, and the two of us co-founded this company, Hello Robot. And then we worked to productize this invention. It took a while, 3 years of iterative development with Hello Robot, 8 versions, most of those tested in my home. That's my daughter saying goodbye to robot versions that had accumulated. And now that I go back and see what we ended up with, I think of it as robotic cubism. So it's not a humanoid robot, but much like this painting by Pablo Picasso, if you look, you can see elements of human form. So for example, Stretch has a width that is less than 50th percentile hip width. And that's important because people tend to structure their environments in such a way that they can walk comfortably through those environments without rubbing against things. Similarly, important objects tend to be within arm's reach, and Stretch's arm is about 50th percentile arm length. Stretch can reach the floor and can also manipulate on 36-inch high countertops. we want to be true to the inclusive roots. This is inclusive design and originally intended for assistance. And so it's interesting how that comes out. It can reach the 95th percentile shoulder height for wheelchair users. And with the new dexterous wrist, it can actually reach around eye height. It's also lightweight, so you can tip it over and roll it around relatively easily. And you can also ship it in cardboard boxes, which we do. And this is my car. I've been able to move it in my car, which is really nice if you want to actually do work in the field. Of course, being small and lightweight and compact is just not that valuable unless it's also capable. And so we made sure throughout this iterative design process to actually try it with real tasks, such as teleoperated tasks in my home, teleoperated workplace tasks, and then also more recently with the dexterous wrist, some dexterous tasks, such as that's the bottom there. I teleoperated the robot to open an exterior door in my home, and at the top, others at Hello Robot, poured water and placed flowers. Autonomy has different design constraints, so we also created demonstrations which ship with the robot that illustrate ways that you can use this robot to do things autonomously. It's Python and ROS. That's the emphasis. This gives an overview of the structure. We ship with Ubuntu 18.04 and Melodic, ROS Melodic. We also have available Noetic for 20.04 with initial support, and we're making progress towards ROS 2 support. We've also worked with Picnic to make MoveIt 2, enable MoveIt 2 to support the robot. Okay, now what's most fun for me is showing some highlights from the Stretch community. For example, Professor Veronica Santos at UCLA and a large team worked on an Avatar X Prize semifinals entrance with Stretch, including a humanoid hand and stereo vision added on. There's a PhD from UC Santa Cruz by Megan Boivin, which adds a soft robot end effector for haptic sensing. Meta has been working with Stretch. For example, they've released Droidlet, and Stretch is one of the agents that this infrastructure or this platform for autonomous agents can support. More recently at New York University, Professor Lero Pinto, they've demonstrated and shown visual imitation learning with Stretch. And this is some work I was involved in. Professor Zachary Erickson and Kavya Puthavitil and at CMU and Georgia Tech have enabled Stretch to learn from physics simulations to manipulate covers. Also, I really enjoyed this. I got to teach a project-based class last term with Stretch. 3 teams, each used Stretch, and they did really cool projects. Professor Zachary Erickson at CMU is teaching a class with Stretch this term. And there's also assistive robotics work. One of the first papers to come out was from Professor Maya Chakmak's lab, working with Professor Mauro Cabrera, Professor Tapo Bhattacharjee, Kavi Day, to enable people to remotely teleoperate Stretch to do things in a kitchen. And that included people with disabilities controlling Stretch. And then last summer, we had this large project. It was led by Vi Wen, who was an occupational therapy doctoral student at the time. She has earned her doctorate. This was working with Henry and Jane Evans and support of a large team who were behind them. But Vi, Henry, and Jane, they spent 4 weeks, 2 sessions of 2 weeks at Henry and Jane's home, working with the robot without any roboticists present to explore what Henry could do with it. And it empowered Henry to do a lot of things for himself. It was really exciting. Another thing which is kind of cool, Professor Wendy Rogers at UIUC led a pitch competition where teams proposed things to do with Stretch in terms of physical assistance for people with disabilities. This is exciting in a number of ways. One of the ways it's exciting is Hello Robot really does want people to create businesses on top of Stretch and to enable Stretch to really help people. And so I love seeing this in an academic setting. There are startups that use Stretch, but I love seeing it also in the academic world. And the projects are really cool, and love seeing what the teams came up with. So that's it. I truly believe that together we can create a better future. So excited about the community that has emerged. I hope that you will consider doing research with Stretch. Have a great conference.